Elly De La Cruz has woken up the Cincinnati Reds and has completely turned around their team in terms of skill, style, fan popularity. As of late, this man has just completely changed the game. And when I say it's caught my eye, I don't even watch baseball that often, but the Cincinnati Reds have just they've woken up an interest in me for this game of baseball. The man has already hit for the cycle in his first 20 games of his career. That's absolutely fucking ridiculous if you ask me. Plus, this guy has phenomenal speed. He beats out infield hits. And he's basically pushed them into a playoff spot to the point where they weren't even there last year. Through 80 games, I'm pretty sure they're last place in the Central. Now they're first place this year. A complete flip around. But yeah, this guy can hit the ball. He can move. And honestly, at first, I thought he was a bust of a prospect that they weren't going to call up ever. And now that they've called him up, he's an absolute star. And it's gone to the point where they're considering putting this guy in the All-Star game. He's got the Athletic vouching for him. The Athletic. Can you believe this shit? This guy has fucking showed up and immediately turned this team around. They went on a 10-game winning streak throughout the month of June. And now that he's fucking played like this, the entire team has shown up. Jonathan India, Sam Steer, Joey Votto is back, and he's looking great. I don't even know what to say about this team. They've proven to me that they can make the playoffs, and at this point, I think they will. Milwaukee honestly hasn't been a very great team this season, and Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. Chicago has one good player, and it's Marcus Stroman for some reason. And at this point, I don't see any reason why the Reds shouldn't make the playoffs. Now, with all things considered, obviously every team goes on their hot run, and I'm somewhat expecting the Reds to go on a little bit of a cold streak sometime soon, because you have to do it every now and then before the playoffs, or else it's going to come in the playoffs, as we've seen with other sports teams, the Boston Bruins. Yeah, you have to lose every now and then, or else you're just going to lose in the playoffs. But when you look at the future of this team, the trade deadline is coming up. What direction are they going to go into? Are they going to look to upgrade the team and push for maybe more this season? Or are they just going to build off this season next year and maybe, make a proper playoff team in the coming years that can contend for a World Series? Now, looking at the rest of the schedule, the Cincinnati Reds actually have a pretty dead even schedule, sitting at 15th in the toughest schedule rankings on Tankathon. With 7 more games against the Diamondbacks, who have also been absolutely phenomenal. They've got a couple games against the Marlins, some against the Dodgers, a lot against the Giants, and 1 remaining against the hot Baltimore Orioles. Honestly, this team has the perfect chance to make the playoffs this year. I think they should go for it. Maybe make a couple trades at the deadline to acquire some more pitching or reliever help. I know the relievers aren't really well known around the league, so I can't really tell you if they're that good. I know Diaz has been great, though, so keep him. Also, another thing they might want to consider adding is better hitting. They can't really just rely on one or two players to hit for them. I can't name off the top of my head their entire lineup, but I do know that India, De La Cruz, and Steer are not going to be able to carry the full load along with the catcher Stevenson. And to round out trade talks, I think it's very important that we mention that injuries are always going to pop up on your team. And I do think that they have to make a couple trades to, bolster the lineup, where the point is someone gets injured, you can replace them immediately and not have to worry about a single thing, and not have to call up some random AAA guy that's gonna shit the bed and bat 100, because if you look at the New York Yankees right now, they have been surviving off the tips of their fingers. They have absolutely nothing, and they've been relying on AAA guys to hit for them, and they're getting very, very lucky. If the playoffs were to start today, the Reds would be playing actually another surprise team, the Miami Marlins. But I do not think that they would win this matchup. I think in the 3-game series, Miami would actually take this. Their pitching has been absolutely fantastic, and they've got guys who are always hitting the ball. Luis Arraez batting 400 is absolutely fucking insane. Not even to take away from the other guys like Jorge Soler, who are batting incredibly right now. And really, I just don't think they'll win this matchup with the roster they have. So Don't take my word on that. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. To round out this video, I'm going to tell you a couple of players I think the Reds should personally be looking at to upgrade their roster. With injuries to Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, and Connor Overton, I think J.P. Sears of the Oakland Athletics would be a great pickup. He's having a great season on a trash team that is absolutely going to go nowhere. I think that the dude is not going to be opposed to going to Cincinnati, especially with all the hype around them right now. And personally, I do think that this fit will work out great for the Reds. A couple other players that they could consider is guys like Zach Greinke, who won't cost a lot but have playoff experience and veteran talent in the locker room. Or maybe a guy like Lucas Giolito, who is not getting the playing time on Chicago that an ace or a potential ace like him could be getting, and he honestly would bring great starting caliber to the lineup where the playoffs are coming in and they need that third pitcher. If they're looking to trade someone away, I do think that they have to consider trading away catcher Luke Mai. The catching depth in the league is absolutely horrendous right now, and if people are looking for a catcher, I think that this guy might be the one that they're going to look towards. They've got Tyler Stevenson already, and I'm sure that they don't really need another catcher. This guy has been great all season, and he is a clear #1 on their roster. I think the real question is now, can this team compete in the playoffs? And knowing the Reds, they're absolutely going to fucking choke it.
Elly De La Cruz is up there now.
Hold on, let me sit up in my seat. I don't want to miss this one.
I'm right there with you. This has a chance to be a fun at bat.
De La Cruz has hit safely in each of his 4 games played in the big leagues. De La Cruz rakes it on the ground to Donovan. Donovan underhanding to Wainwright.
Bang, bang, De La Cruz, infield hit. You cannot take your eyes off of Elly De La Cruz, who proclaimed himself yesterday the fastest man alive.
Well, the